The topic today is the epithelial tissue. The objectives of the class of this lecture. By the end of this lecture, you should be able to describe general characteristics of epithelial tissue, discuss microscopic structure and distribution of different types of epithelial membranes, classify glandular epithelium according to different parameters, enumerate the functions of epithelial tissue, understand the following clinical applications: immotile cilia syndrome and metaplasia. We'll discuss all of these topics in more details. Now we start with this slide. The title here you have, what are your body components? The components of your body. What are you made up of? What are you made up of? You are made up of three components. One is the cells. The cells. You are made up of cells. You are made up of intercellular substances. What do we mean by intercellular substances? Intercellular substances are those substances which are found between the cells. They include fibers, for example, collagenous fibers, elastic fibers, reticular fibers, and amorphous substance or the ground substance. We are going to talk about this in more detail in another lecture. And then you have also the body fluids. The body fluids are made up of blood, lymph, and tissue fluid. All of these represent lectures which we will study in the coming weeks. The cells. Quantitatively, you are made up of trillions of cells. And qualitatively, you are made up of more than 200 types of cells. All these cells are organized into four basic tissues. These are the epithelium, the connective tissue, the muscular tissue, and the nervous tissue. Here you have a slide. You can see in this slide where the epithelium is. This upper portion, this represents the first line of defense. The first line of defense. This type of epithelium is made up of more than one layers or many layers. It is known as stratified epithelium. And stratified epithelium are specialized in protection. Below the epithelium, you have what is known as the connective tissue, which we are going to study in later weeks. These are the portions, or this portion represents the connective tissue. Here we have got the muscular tissue. You have got two bundles of muscles arranged differently. These muscles are arranged circularly, as you can see. And these ones are arranged longitudinally. Below that you have another connective tissue. You will study this organ in more detail in the second year. This organ is known as the esophagus and it belongs to the GIT. I just brought it for you in order to see the different types of tissues. Then we have got the characteristics of the epithelial tissue. What are the characteristics of epithelial tissue? First, epithelium. The definition of epithelium. Epithelium is made up of closely opposed cells with very little or no intercellular substances between them. This is an epithelium, simple epithelium. You can see that the cells are very close together. Every cell is near the other one. This represents the intercellular substance. Very little, as you can see, intercellular substance. These are the intercellular substances. Below the epithelium, you have the basement membrane. And below the basement membrane, you have the connective tissue. Let's go step by step. The epithelium is characterized by the presence of three surfaces: apical, lateral, and basal surface. These represents the apical surface. These represents the apical surface. And these represents the lateral surface. These represents the lateral surface. While these ones are the basal surfaces of many cells. Therefore, you will find that the apical surface is covered by three types of specializations. One of them is the microvilli. This one, for example, has projections known as microvilli. These are finger-like projections, and microvilli have the responsibility or the job of increasing the surface area. By increasing the surface area, for what? For absorption. You may find this type, of course, you can find this type of epithelium, simple epithelium in the small intestine. Then you have another projections. This represents hair-like projections which are known as the cilia. The cilia are found in ciliated cells which are located in the respiratory trachea. They are found in the respiratory trachea and they are also found in the fallopian tube. And they are responsible for the movement of particles or the movement of fluids. Here you have got another type of projection known as the stereocilia. The stereocilia are found in the epididymis. This is the organ which stores the spermatozoons. Therefore, we know what we mean by apical, lateral, and basal specializations of the membrane or the cell membrane or the epithelium. The origin of epithelium. Here you can see the cilia, as you can see. Here you have got the microvilli, and here you have got the basal enfoldings All of these are projections which we are going to study. We are going to study them in more detail. Don't worry about that. Let us concentrate on the origin. The epithelium originates from the ectoderm, from the mesoderm, and from the endoderm. The ectoderm will give you the epithelia, which covers the skin. The mesoderm will give you the epithelia, which lines the blood vessels and the body cavities. The endoderm will give you the epithelium, which lines the GIT. Basement membrane. Below the epithelium, you have got the basement membrane. It is acellular, and it is made up of two layers, the lucid and the denser part of the basal lamina, including some reticular fibers. These types of cells